After Greyson was captured, Jacob once believed he had delivered a devastating blow to the Plasma organization. The moment the handcuffs tightened around Greyson's wrists felt like the end of a relentless hunt that had dragged on for months. And for a brief instant Jacob allowed himself to believe that justice finally had a chance to win. But that sense of relief proved painfully short-lived. The very moment Greyson was taken away, an uneasy atmosphere began to spread around Jacob, like an invisible cold wind warning that a far more violent storm was approaching. Greyson's arrest did not cause the plasma network to collapse as many had expected. Instead, it triggered a far more dangerous chain reaction unfolding quietly beneath the surface. Greyson's most loyal allies were not the kind of people who surrendered easily. They slipped back into the shadows, watching patiently and waiting for the perfect moment to strike back. In their eyes, Jacob was no longer just the man who destroyed Greyson's plan. He had become a living threat capable of exposing the entire Plasma Empire to the unforgiving light of the law. Because of that, a ruthless assassination plan slowly began to take shape in the darkest corners of the organization. Jacob instantly became the #1 target. Yet what made the situation truly terrifying was that he had no idea where his enemies were hiding. Everything unfolded in eerie silence. Even some of the people who once worked alongside him began behaving cautiously around him. Jacob slowly realized that his victory may have pushed him into a far more dangerous game, one where a single misstep could cost him his life. The first warning signs came in subtle forms: cryptic messages, phone calls that abruptly cut off, and strange, evasive glances from people he once trusted. The sensation of being watched began clinging to Jacob like a shadow. Every street he walked down and every room he entered made him wonder if someone was already there, patiently waiting for the right moment to strike. Yet what tormented Jacob most was not the fear of death. It was the horrifying realization that he had become nothing more than a piece on a chessboard in a power struggle he did not fully understand. Greyson was only one link in a much larger system, and capturing him seemed to have brushed dangerously close to secrets Plasma had spent years trying to bury. The powerful figures behind the organization clearly understood that Jacob possessed fragments of truth capable of destroying their entire structure. Instead of attacking him directly, they began turning him into a living shield in their own war. As long as Jacob remained alive, those secrets could still surface. And that very fact made him someone who had to be controlled or eliminated before it was too late. That reality weighed on Jacob's mind like an enormous stone crushing down on him. He realized he was now trapped between two dangerous forces. On one side stood the Plasma organization, desperate to silence him forever. On the other side were powerful figures eager to exploit everything he knew for their own battles. In this situation, Jacob could no longer tell who was truly an ally and who was an enemy. Suspicion began creeping into every relationship around him, turning ordinary encounters into tense tests of loyalty. Anger started to grow inside him, anger not only toward Plasma, but also toward himself, because it was his own decision to risk Greyson that had dragged him deeper into a violent spiral he could no longer easily escape. As night fell and the city sank into a deceptive quiet, Jacob finally understood that his war with Plasma had only just begun. Somewhere out there, unseen hunters were waiting patiently for the right moment to close the trap. And while they prepared their next move, Jacob was forced to confront a brutal choice. Continue fighting and expose every dark secret Plasma had hidden, or disappear before he became the ultimate prize in a battle he no longer controlled. But deep down, Jacob understood something even more terrifying. No matter how far he tried to run, the forces behind Plasmo would never allow him to escape their sight. The hunt had begun, and this time, Jacob was the prey.